Stories are powerful tools. They grab our attention, they make us feel something, and we remember them long after the facts and figures have faded away. This is as true in the boardroom as it is around a campfire. In business, stories help us connect, persuade, and inspire. They are the key to building strong relationships with customers, colleagues, and investors. Think about your favorite brands. What comes to mind? Chances are, you remember a story. Maybe it's a story about the company's founder, a story about a customer experience, or a story about the product itself. These stories stick with us because they make us feel something. They connect with us on an emotional level. Stories cut through the noise. In today's fast-paced world, we are bombarded with information. It's overwhelming. Stories help us make sense of the world around us. They provide context and meaning. When you tell a story, you give your audience a framework for understanding your message. Finally, stories inspire action. A well-told story can move people to make a purchase, support a cause, or join a movement. Stories have the power to change hearts and minds. When you share your story, you invite your audience to be a part of something bigger than themselves. When we hear a good story, our brains light up. It's like watching a movie in our minds. We see the characters, we hear the dialogue, and we feel the emotions. As a business storyteller, your job is to create this same vivid experience for your audience. Start by setting the scene. Describe the time and place of your story. Use sensory details to bring your story to life. What do you see, hear, smell, taste, and feel? For example, instead of saying it was a cold day, you could say, "The wind howled outside and I could feel the chill seeping through the cracks in the window." Next, introduce your characters. Who are the people in your story? What are their motivations? Make your characters relatable and believable. Give them flaws and strengths. The more your audience can connect with your characters, the more invested they will be in your story. Finally, build to a climax. Every good story has a conflict or challenge that needs to be overcome. This is what keeps your audience engaged. Create suspense by raising the stakes. What's at risk? What happens if the hero fails? In a world of information overload, simplicity is key. This is especially true in business storytelling. Your audience is busy and bombarded with messages. You need to make your story easy to understand and remember. Start by identifying your core message. What is the one thing you want your audience to take away from your story? Once you know your core message, you can start stripping away anything that doesn't support it. Use clear, concise language. Avoid jargon, technical terms, and industry buzzwords. Your goal is to communicate, not to impress. Choose words that are easy to understand and remember. Focus on the emotional core of your story. What emotions do you want to evoke in your audience? Joy, sadness, anger, fear. Once you know the emotions you want to tap into, you can start shaping your story to evoke those feelings. Section 4. Connecting with your audience. Tailoring your story for different groups. Not all stories are created equal. What works for one audience might not work for another. When tailoring your story, consider the following factors. Age. Younger audiences may respond better to stories that are fast-paced and visually engaging, while older audiences may prefer stories that are more reflective and thought-provoking. Culture. Be mindful of cultural differences in storytelling traditions, humor, and values. What is considered appropriate or offensive can vary widely from one culture to another. Interests. What are the specific interests and concerns of your audience? If you're telling a story to a group of investors, for example, you'll want to focus on different aspects of your business than if you're telling a story to a group of potential customers. Remember that the most important thing is to be authentic and genuine. Your audience will be able to tell if you're not being sincere. So be yourself, tell your story, and connect with your audience on a human level. Section 5. Real-world examples putting business storytelling into action. Let's bring this to life with some examples. Imagine a company that makes sustainable shoes. Instead of just listing the eco-friendly materials, they could tell the story of the shoemaker who inspired their mission. They could share his passion for craftsmanship and his commitment to using recycled materials, or consider a non-profit organization that helps children in need. They could tell the story of one child who benefited from their programs. By putting a human face on the issue, they can create a more powerful and memorable connection with potential donors. These stories are more engaging than a list of facts and figures. They help the audience connect with the brand on a deeper level. Section 6. Conclusion. Unleash the power of storytelling in your business. In today's business landscape, storytelling is no longer a nice-to-have. It's a must-have. Stories help us cut through the noise, connect with our audiences, and inspire action. By embracing the power of story, you can take your business to the next level. Remember to keep your stories simple, relatable, and emotionally resonant. And don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you and your audience. Now go out there and start telling your story.